Fine. Well, please, in your own time. Oh, it's beautiful.
Welcome to Fake Swords,
Real feelings.
This is a special episode.
Do you know why it's special? For two reasons.
For two reasons. You go on.
First off, and most importantly,
Yes.
viewers have probably noticed something different.
True.
2 cameras!
2 cameras. That's right. We're flexing 2 6K cameras on you. Oh, the joys of having a successful other thing. Now, the other reason that this one is special is that I went to Empire.
And I didn't.
And Dylan didn't.
I didn't.
So Dylan is going to be blind reacting to everything E2 threw at me.
I need to know if I need to really prep a backup character. And it's been like 2 weeks now of me avoiding Discord, avoiding Facebook, and like, there's only like 4 weeks to the event, Jim. If I gotta buy kit, do I gotta buy kit?
I wouldn't not be buying kit. So, I think a lot happened this E2. I'm not going to give you half the information you want.
Great, yeah. It's what I deserve.
Yeah, I am going to give you a lot of what happened to me.
Yeah, okay.
I shouldn't have. I didn't. And that is fine by me.
Anytime, it's fine.
Are those boxes in the shop, do you think?
I will change them. I should hope that you checked this in the million times you were checking the shots, but
well,
definitely
now
not
we'll never know. Anyway, so it was quite an interesting event because
tell me.
There was no one big thing that happened, but a lot of majorly interesting small things just kept coming.
I like that. That's kind of like, they're the type of events that kind of just keep you going.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because we are all kind of like, it was basically Joey, Tash, and I. That's my in-character brother, and more specifically, my in-character sister in the game.
Whose name is Dahlia, and we definitely always remember to mention her. Because if we don't, I have it on good authority, she'd be very angry and would do a murder.
You don't want Dahlia angry at me.
You don't want Dahlia to be angry at.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, so your core crew.
Yes.
What then? Tell me.
Well,
tell
the
me
first thing I did, Dylan.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was that I flew across the sea.
Okay. Tell me this.
Yes.
I want you to treat this as if it's like a movie review. Imagine you're Roger Eggbert or whatever. I know he's dead, but
I don't know who that is.
He's that like famous movie reviewer.
Okay.
Imagine you're writing for his website.
Okay. Yes.
First thing you do in a movie review, because LARP is so synonymous with movies.
It is.
Give me a rating out of 10 or a number of stars.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just for like general events
at a glimpse.
Yeah.
I would. I'd rate this one high.
Yeah.
Like, despite the fact that nothing big happened.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say this is 8, 9 out of 10.
Okay, so is this like top 3, top 5 events?
Yeah, definitely top 3 events.
Okay, wow.
Now, let me tell you, because it was interesting. We had a mindset going into this.
Yep.
Right, and the mindset very quickly shifted. So our mindset for this event was, we were already kind of tired from work and stuff.
Yes.
So our mindset had been, we're going to sit around a fire for the weekend.
Right, because you would basically tell me that you're aiming to have a very kind of chill event. You'd sing songs planned and stuff.
We had written out a book
of
we had written out a book of shanties that everyone could sing from and stuff. I wasn't planning. My exact words were to anybody who asked, and you'll see it from the like Instagram gym cams and stuff.
Yeah.
That like I was in a Hawaiian shirt. I
need to like just, I don't know, process that, because I saw those videos. I was like, I've never once seen you in a Hawaiian shirt. I was like, 1, where did you get it? 2, why is he wearing it? And like 3, where did this come from? It was so like...
To answer them in order. 1, I decided I was holiday gym. I had a very, very hard week in work and I had a lot going on. So I was like, fuck it, went in Anvil. 2, pennies. That's Primark for you UK viewers. I can't remember what question 3 was. Why? What was that about? Was it question 3?
I don't know, yeah. I thought.
Yeah, because.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So the thing was, I had said to multiple people, like, if I spend this entire event just in Wise Guys or Moorish,
it's exactly what you had said to me,
sitting around songs and stories, I will consider that a success. Now, that changed very quickly.
Okay.
But it was changed for me, if you know what I mean. Like Anvil decided...
In a good way?
In a good way.
Okay.
Anvil decided that this was going to be the event of the wander, right? All we did was wander.
Interesting.
And Anvil provided. By God, did it provide. But wait, and you will see. So, to start with the Thursday, right?
Yeah.
We were still in super chill vibes.
By the way, Jim has told me that this might be a 3-parter, so you might get the 3rd part next year.
It might be. I don't know. It depends on how excited I get going through this. I have no idea of my pacing. So, a couple of broad strokes things. On the way over, best drive to Anvil going because all we did was sing shanties. We literally had a playlist. The 3 of us were just sitting there belting out shanties. I was starving. I stopped. I got 2. Count them. No, sorry, I got 4. Gave away 2. Greg's sausage rolls. Don't have them in Ireland, so right off the bat, off to a wonderful start.
It's always a good start, yeah.
It was sweltering the whole weekend. Like the hottest it's ever been at Anvil, right? At least in my memory.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Calippo. I got...
I don't care about any of this.
This is important
I
to me.
demand you get to the actual events.
This is important to me. It sets the tone. Calippo was wonderful. Got myself a nice drink. Tash and Joey just had so much, like they had the freezer filled with like ice cold Cokes and shit. Nice. So the whole weekend we had
so much with this hat on.
Our flasks. Yeah, it's real hot here too. We had our flasks and like on demand, we could open the freezer. There was bags of ice. You'd pour your Coke into it, and you'd have a drink so cold that there'd be condensation on the cup. Like it was good. You know. Right. So yeah. First off, wild amount of people coming up to say hi. We love fake swords. Mm-hmm. So
that's great.
Hey, everybody I spoke to, everybody who came up and said hi. That really, really helped make the event like really cool. Really nice to meet you all as usual. It seems to be a lot more the view now. So
probably because you're not wearing your wig as well this time.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't have the wig. I ditched the wig. You'll probably see it in the thumbnail. I can't. So the wig is gone. Emberic had a very, and it's part of the story. So Emberic has an icy reason that the wig is gone now. So that was really fun. So to everybody who came up and said hi, thank you so much. That was wonderful.
But you would also have to come up and say hi to me as well.
Yeah, he wasn't there, and maybe that's why he's coming up and saying hi.
Whoa.
Maybe that was why.
I am intimidating.
Maybe he's too scary.
Yeah.
But don't be scared of him. It's okay to run away. Yeah. But you have to.
I do have resting bitch face, but I am approachable.
Yes. So to jump in, I guess we did the Thursday night was the usual. We kind of hit the shops. I had sweet fuck all money because at that point I had just left my job. I hadn't started a new job. So I was like, oh, not the time to go and buy pretend swords.
Did you not buy a sword this event?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
But there's some really fun sword related shit
I've heard, I've seen bits. Yes.
Yeah. I think it would be hard to, like, one of the things that happened made such a splash, I think it would be hard to avoid hearing about it. But, so that was just a really fun night. We kind of hit in early because I had been up really early. You know, my usual Thursday.
rant incoming because I feel I'm not going to get a lot to speak about in these things. So I'm going to take my opportunity to fucking rant. Got a new phone and it's great. Love it. Really good for taking pictures. Everything. So good. But it got an update and I think this is,
Planned obsolescence?
No, I know it's not a planned obsolescence thing. You probably have it too. Fucking like Gemini or whatever the fucking AI thing is, even when my phone is locked, if you press a button beside it, it's like, oh, you want to talk to your AI? I'm like, no, I don't want the AI in here in the fucking first place. Yeah. Let alone have it come up when it's like, when I'm accidentally pressing it when it's locked.
Like, here's a minor key.
Fuck me. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, Thursday night, just super chill, super fun.
Yes.
Had planned on singing some shanties, didn't get around to it.
Okay.
Boom, wake up on the Friday. For the first few hours, not much happened. We walked around, we took some stupid, goofy B-roll around the camp and stuff. I think I flipped over. I haven't actually put that out on anything, but I had people swing a staff at me and I was trying to flip over it, which was really fun. And then Tash had booked a Krios shoot for the Ash songs.
Yeah.
So we got kitted up real early. That's why there's so much social media where I was just in kit and I was like, fuck, I gotta make use of this now.
We're finally social media people.
We're getting a gym. But yes, the Krios shoot, we kind of walked through Anvil. It was really, really hot. But we got to the gate. I think Ben was there, what's his name? Ben, the photographer.
Ben Smith?
Ben Smith was there. Kind of let us know he was on his way and all that jazz. And then he came along, really nice guy. Set us up underneath the the big fallen trees. Basically put us behind the stump of one of them and was taking some photos. We got some really fun photos. We got some group ones. Tash got some, Joey got some, I got some of my own. The one I got some of my own, I was kind of doing this, like to make it look like I was shouting. I was like, this feels weird. Can I just scream?
Yeah.
And then the new player skirmish was going on. He was like, yeah, fucking go for it. So I scream at the top of my lungs, proper, bit of context for you. We used to compete in karate a lot.
Yeah.
So we got the volume in a shout when we need it. So I gave this huge shout and the whole new player skirmish just turned around to look and be like, what the fuck was that? But yeah, the photo came out great. I mean, but yeah, it's that went really, really well, and we got on really well with him too, which will be a thing going forward as well. So we were sitting chatting to him for a bit. I was trying my hardest not to talk business.
Right. Yeah, of course.
But yeah, no, it was really, really fun. Cannot recommend Krios enough for those booked photo shoots. Just totally professional.
Yeah, and everyone's I've seen of those have always been really, really good. So yeah,
top tier photos come out the back end of it as well, which is class and really quick delivery. So yeah, plugging Krios here, absolute class act. But then we got back and we started just doing, the stupid shake my hand in character and stuff. And at this point, you had sent me on a PDF, right?
I had.
Now we're getting into what Dylan wants. And I'm keeping him on the stick here a little bit.
Yeah, you are.
On the line. So yeah, you gave me this letter and I had meant to print it, but I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So what I did was I went out to Craftigan and I bought a little letter set.
Oh yeah, nice.
And I wrote it out, so there was actually a fizz wrap of it.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. And you were texting me and being like, I was like, so am I delivering this or? And I think you had said if Emberic wants to help Tadhg complete his ambition, he would. And that's I see that's what you would have said. Tadhg would have said is hey, can you help me with my ambition to deliver this letter?
Yeah.
And Emberic would have been
Tadhg is
ambition. Fuck yeah, I'll do that.
I guess to give some pre-context out of context, and I think we talked about it the last time, Tadhg is trying to be political, but is politically completely unsavvy.
Yes.
And so he'd be like, oh, I know how to manipulate Emberic into doing it and being like, oh, I'll just mention ambition because I know that's what he's about, but it would be the most blunt force.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be the grok.
Yeah.
Was that the thing that knocked down the gun?
Grand.
It would be the grand of political maneuvers. Yeah. Grok is the shitty AI. Yeah.
Fucking AI.
We hate AI. But yeah, Gemini.
Don't. That's recording.
Don't summon it. Yeah. So anyway, you said, look, I said, who am I getting to deliver this? Or who do you want me to give it to?
Yeah.
And you were like, fuck, I don't know, Emberic if you can. And then I was like, cool, who am I giving it to? And you were like, well, either directly to the Stenza of Tears or to Guinevere.
Yeah.
If she'll take it. So I chat with Molly and I said, all right, look here. Here's a letter. I'm giving it to you. I see. This is before time in.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, you're giving this to me now? And I was like, yes. And she's like, how are you giving this to me? And I was like,
oh, interesting. Okay. This is not how I expected this to be. I was expecting that you, Jim, would give it to Molly and that had gone to Guinevere too. But
so the story is,
but see,
we pulled out one of Caspian's maps.
And this is all fine because at the same time, I wrote this letter on like Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And because the wind had only come out like that morning or something, so I had very little time to do any sort of anything. I was like just doing it and hoping for the best. So I don't think we
can say what was in the letter because it's still ongoing game. Basically.
Yeah, I don't think we can.
Yeah,
it was spicy.
It's like, woo! Was it spicy? But am I still recording?
Yeah.
Is that still recording? It is. Okay. So basically, we whipped out the map. And I said, okay, well, here's Stonefire Keep on the east of the Barrens.
Yeah.
Here's Tarunan, where he is, and here's Anvil. So basically what would have happened is Emberic was on his way to Anvil, went by where Tadhg was fighting the Druj in Tarunan, met Tadhg. Tadhg was like, give me this your ambition.
Perfect. Fight the Druj, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, down to Anvil, where I now stand in front of you, Molly, and saying, Earl Tadhg gave me this for you. And that was how it was delivered. Because she was like,
oh no, does that mean she read it?
Oh, Dylan.
Oh no.
Oh, Dylan. And I think I can tell you what happened. And Lance, if you don't want me to tell him this, I apologize, but this is public knowledge in Anvil. This could have gotten back to you. The letter
Yikers.
was immediately intercepted. Immediately.
What do you mean intercepted?
It was taken from Guinevere's possession.
By who?
I don't know. What? Yeah. And it was taken to I do know where, but I will not say. And that is
oh no. oh no, I'm rolling up my sleeves.
And that is all, and I know so much more, and a lot of people know so much more, but that is all I will tell you on that.
That's the worst outcome.
Yes.
Did the NPC get to read it?
I don't know if the NPC got to read it.
Bullshit! That was the main reason for writing it!
You sent a letter and it is a medieval setting. Letters get intercepted.
God, I wish Tadhg wasn't so dumb.
You know what? Tadhg's not going to be anything for a while, I don't think. Right.
You won't be making the truth labyrinth, that's for sure.
Right, so Thursday kicks off. Time in happens. We re-meet everyone. Solrenay again camping in the middle of the Emerald Lands.
Yeah.
And then something, like a couple of things all start happening at once, you know, as they do when time in happens.
Yeah.
Re-met everyone. You know, started doing so I know, yeah.
I'm ruined. I'm ruined. I don't even get my poon. I want to lose my poon. I wanted the consequences afterwards. At least I wanted something to be worth the consequences. Maybe that's my defense.
To quote Archmage Morella.
Why is she involved in this? Oh no. Okay, yeah. Talk shit, get bit.
Talk shit, get hit. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Get the staff nowadays. Yeah, so the lance kicks off milling and all that kind of stuff. Emberic straight in with ambition shit, right?
Yeah.
Just straight in, talking to people's ambitions. Straight in, Zeb, Dorian, is going for KP.
Summer?
Autumn.
Oh, autumn. Okay, so next
event.
Yeah, nice.
So he set him on the straight and narrow with a hallowing on the weapon.
No, E4.
Is it?
Is
Then
autumn.
E4, yeah, whatever.
Okay,
E4, whatever autumn is. Gave him, so I was like, okay, cool, you need to do this, that, or the other. I gave him a hallowing of the champion, I think it was, or the conqueror. The one that makes you want to recruit allies. The same thing I gave to Machine.
Yeah.
It's like, go get as many people to fight for you as you
Sure,
can.
yeah,
Called the
yeah.
Blade Autumn's Heart, I think. Gave a big ceremony, all that kind of jazz. And then Brad and Percival started coming up, and Brad was talking about like, oh, his ambition is to sell loads of these battle mage books that he made. And I was like, that's great.
I love that Emberic is just a life coach.
Yeah. He was like, he's like, what is this? And he explained what it was. It's like, oh, it's a book I wrote to help aspiring battle mages in Anvil. And I was like, giving it loads, like, this is what I love to see. You had an ambition, you followed it through. I love to see an ambition completed and all this kind of stuff. And I said, but what is your next ambition? He's like, volume 2. And I was like, great. And Person will come over and he goes, no, it's all downhill from here. And proclamation was in my hand, and I'm hallowed to you feel the need to publicly challenge anybody who would naysay an ambition. But I didn't remember that initially. And then Joey was like, stood next to me, and he's like, oh, I wouldn't say that. And then it pinged, and I was like, wait, no. And I started going in on Percival, and he was like, oh. So that was kind of like really funny off the bat. And at that point, Joey had started his political maneuverings, because he had decided just like randomly to just completely go, and I don't know how much of this I can say, X, Y, Z or whatever, but he had just decided to just completely upseat the politics of the Lancing group.
Oh, great.
And it was like working so fucking hard all weekend to just sow discord and shit. And he had started that, so he was really busy doing that.
Yeah.
Like little subtle meetings off to the side, and who do you support for this and this, that, and the other, and just shit talking the Lance every chance he got and stuff. It was really fucking funny. And then a familiar yet not familiar face walked into camp. House Sol Rene's Yo, our retainer, which is Lumiere Bateau, played by Merlin, who you guys would all know as Randall. And he walked in with one of the funniest bits of physical comedy I've ever seen on the field. His new character is very stoic, very serious, like a ledgerman, he works for the bank, Yeah. And he came in, he's like, hello, members of the Emerald Lance. Look, I'm sorry, I am here on a bit of grim news. This has been passed into me, and basically had like a legal document from Randall. That was his last will and testament that he had to deliver to House Carleone. So he's like, are all the members of House Carleone here? And then he pulled out this sheet of paper and started reading it really slowly. And he's like, blah, 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 here. And he had all the legal jargon perfectly.
Nice.
And then he's like, and he folded it, and it goes down like a good fucking 17 A4 pages length, like. But he was going through it the whole time. I was looking at it. It was very good because a lot of it was just lines. He had written lines.
Yeah.
But he was like, okay, and he had like really good gifts for everyone. So like he had bequeathed a book on dragons to the Earl.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Percival, and he goes, please hold out your hand. And he takes out a little canister of whipped cream. he had like IC'd it, and it said like pointy stick lube or something. So he just poured a whole heap of it into Percival's outstretched hand. He said that would help you keep and polish your weapon or your rod all night or something like that. And the whole time he's talking, Percival is just trying to get the cream respectfully off his hand. What else did he give?
Ridiculous.
He gave Leoric a banana he had found. Leoric just ate it on the spot. And then at the end he was like, and Percival, ha ha ha, you stupid idiot. Did you really think all I'd give you was that? And then had an actual, I can't remember what it was. Oh no, it was actually really touching. It was the poster for the Battle of the Bands that they organized together. And it was like,
nice.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
But Percival just downplayed it and he's like, whatever. So that was fun.
That is fun.
Yeah, that was just really kind of like typical Merlin, really.
I too heard that noise.
What am I hearing? Just before something goes on fire. There's liquid dropping. Here. This cup is cracked.
Oh.
Yeah, the glass is cracked. This is...
okay.
I'll just grab a towel and sit it down.
Yeah. So you just want to know what's in the letter? I'm not going to tell you, but I'll give you some hints while Jim's gone to figure out what's going on. You could probably put two and two together, right? In the last episode, I didn't really talk about it too much, but I kind of gave some hints about the Zesna of Tears, the servant of the Howling Queen, and how Tadhg was like, "Hey, bitch, where's my boon?" Except there was a lot more respect for that. But I asked him where my boon was, and obviously I didn't get it, and it was played off as a joke. Dear viewer, it was no joke. But that's all I can say. So I won't say more about the contents of the letter, but I will say that that's what the letter was about. And Jim can obviously decide to edit this out in post. But
Sorry, kitchen was in the West Wing. Yes. Sorry. Go on.
No, I was just cluing them in a little bit as to the general context and contents of my letter.
Oh, of course.
Not the exact words, of course, but
you should hope not.
No.
They'll come for you, OC. Okay, they'll come for you, OC.
I'm just so annoyed it didn't actually get to the NPC.
Yeah, shocking.
Yeah.
Merlin, yeah, so that was just really fun, good bit of game.
Mm-hmm.
Then, not Randall, Lumiere basically disappeared and we didn't see him again the whole event. He was just so busy. Yeah, and then we just kind of started...
Was he doing the same thing for other friends of Randall?
I think he did.
Okay,
I think he did, because we saw him a couple of times with some of Randall's friends and stuff, which is you're with your
of course.
friends.
Yeah.
So, he was back now and then. He did come out with, and this is maybe this video, maybe the next video, probably the next video, some of the literally I was crying laughing in the field. It was so fucking funny. But anyway, then it was just kind of Anvil for a little while, walking around, doing the bits bobs, the hustle and bustle of the initial kick in.
Yeah.
We did go out, we went to the OC area for some reason or other. I can't remember why, but when we were coming back, who did we run into but the Stenza of Tears and their friend, the Elder Plague Wolf. So we were kind of hanging around talking to the guy in the suit. It was really funny. We were like, "Are you not dying? Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "Because I've made shit life decisions." But got a TikTok with the wolf because,
Nice, yeah, of course.
When, you don't turn down that opportunity. That was really fun. And then they started moving into OC. So
did you tell the Stenza's player?
No, I didn't say anything because I wasn't sure who was mentioned or what or anything like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So I, when the wolf started moving back into IC, we were like, come on, we got to go and see what it's doing.
Yeah, of course.
So they walked into IC, we came behind them. So it moved in, it was basically the Stenza, the Elder Plague Wolf, and then flanked by Sol Renee with glares and swords, hands on their swords, and it immediately hung a right into Varushka.
Yeah.
Where all of Varushka came out to basically make a line and welcome it into Varushka. So they were like, come in, have a drink. And they gave the Stenza a drink, and they gave a bottle to the Plague Wolf, and it ate the bottle. That's so funny. There's a kind of a back and forth there that was good, and then it went into Varushka, and we said, okay, well, look, that's yellow, we let it go. But Tash actually hung back and watched, and she said that it actually kicked off a bit.
Oh, yeah?
And they were trying to get it out, so Varushka was trying to then run it out of Varushka because it did something mad. And it hit them a mass repel in the street in Anvil, and everyone just went, whoa!
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, nice.
So that was really cool. And then I think it just disappeared. Once the meeting was over, it disappeared back into the OC area. But that was just a cool thing to see walking around Anvil. Yeah. And I'm real glad Tash went back for that.
Yeah.
So then we went back to camp, and the question was raised around the fire because it was starting to get a bit dark at this point.
Yeah.
The question was raised around the fire about Emberic's hair, and Emberic, I was like, and a couple of people asked me today, and I was like, anytime someone asks, I'd be like, it's not a happy story,
Okay.
I'll tell you, but it's not a happy story.
I forgot that was Emberic.
Yeah, and then they were like, tell it, and I was like, all right, but remember, you did ask for this. And then it was actually Roro who was like, just tell the fucking story. And I was like, okay.
Her name was Unveiled. We met 4 years ago at the winter solstice. And she wasn't no noble, no flags billowing in the wind, no heraldry, no retinue and no house. But she moved like one. And she had a fire in her. I saw that right away. So we got to talking. When everyone else was drinking and dancing, she told me about her ambitions. And I believed her. Because of course I did. We spent 4 years together. 4 years of marching, 4 years of fighting, quiet evenings and loud nights. 4 years of building a future together. I gave her everything I had, and in return she gave me the one thing I'd never had. Someone who could see the fire inside me, the ambition, and who wanted it. And then a time came when she told me she wanted me to meet her family. It's time, she said. They need to see you. So, grinning like a fool, I agreed. And we set off, and the march was long and hard. At first, we took into the barrens, and I felt my spirits lift. She'd never much talked about where she was from. But maybe it wasn't so far from my own home. But then we pushed on further north through the barrens, and then across the river. And I noticed she was quiet on the trip, reserved, not her usual self. I just thought she was worried about the impression I might make. But love doesn't question, so I didn't think to question her. And so on we marched until we stood in the shade of the forest of Ulnak. And I had it in my mind then to ask the question. But just as I took in breath, she marched on in. The forest seemed to part before her, so well she knew the way. And I followed along behind her, keeping out of the shadows as best I could, which let me tell you is not an easy feat in that particular forest. And then we arrived at her house, such as it was. Ill-maintained, cracked windows that should have been repaired, a door that hung slightly ajar on its hinges and creaked when it opened. The whole thing entwined in vines, not for decoration, but seeming to choke the life out of the place. And at the front door, her family, standing shoulder to shoulder and waving at us as we arrived. They smiled, but their eyes... something wasn't right with their eyes. But I didn't think about it. I smiled, I shook hands, I clapped shoulders, I laughed and I told jokes. Until time came for dinner, when we sat down at the table. Me being me, I offered to say a few words about our ambitions. But her father, he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "Now, son. Just listen this time, just once." So I acquiesced and I sat down opposite Serana. And then he began to speak. I still remember the tone of his voice. low, angry sounding, each word laced with venom and hatred. So taken aback was I at his tone that it took a moment for the words to register in my ears. Prayers, whisperings, praises to agreement. Shock crashed through me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I looked across to Serana and she sat quiet, tears in her eyes, as she saw the anger on my face. I remember her words. I thought you'd listen, she said. I thought you might join us. I swear it felt like I spent 10 years in my head in that moment. It was only when I realised the voices had stopped I came back to my senses. And I saw them. And they saw me. Plain as day. I'm sure the look on my face told them everything they needed to know. And they drew from filthy scabbards black blades, dripping with I don't know what. And I called out to the summer realm and to the virtues, and they dove, the father first. And I took from my side my hammer proclamation and I swung it. And I fought, not to win, you understand, simply to live. And I killed them. I killed them all. I remember as Serana stood there, facing me, that wretched blade in her hand, and me screaming at her to run from me, to run into the forest and spare herself my wrath. But she didn't do it, and she fell like the rest. And she fell at my feet. And I burned that house then. I burned it with all the flames and fire I could muster. I cleansed it. And then, when the flames were licking up the walls around me, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to stay in that house with the fire or not. And I couldn't tell you if I made a decision or not, because whether a beam fell on my head or I just gave in to the smoke. So much smoke. I fell unconscious. And I woke up in the morning. Everything gone. The house, the bodies, all burned to ashes. Just embers and tinder and dust in the wind. And a small circle of firewood that I lay upon. Me clothes with embers dancing across them, and me hair burnt away and turned the colour of summer. And I got up and I walked back to the barrens, back to Stonefire Keep and my family, where people knew me and things made sense. And I don't think I'll love again. I've learned me lesson. It's not for me. But I do think she made me who I am, because I know what I have to do in this life now. I have to foster and keep true the ambitions of those I care about, my family, my friends. Keep them on the straight and narrow, and make sure that those ambitions don't get twisted. That they don't get twisted and end up like so much firewood, like dust, like Serena. So sometimes at night when I close my eyes, I feel like I can see her staring back at me. Not what she was in the end, hissing, wild-eyed and angry, but who she could have been. If I had more vigilance, if I saw the rot that had taken her ambition and dragged it down into the mud. And I'll never let that happen again. I swear it. On the virtues.
I finished the story and Becca was just like looking at me like heartbroken and Poppy was there like crying and shit. And I was like, I said it wasn't a happy story. But then I was like, anyway, I'm going for a wander. And just got up. I think Poppy came with me and told me some cool stuff about like what's going on. With like they had been over in the slavers, the French guys. Asavea, yeah. That was just kind of interesting bit of their backstory. Yeah, and then I kind of came back around. I had given out some of those leaflets, the shanties, just because it's House Sol Rene in the front of it, like. Sure. So I gave out one of them, and then I went for a wander myself again because I at this point I kind of decided this is going to be the event of the wander. Yeah. And I got a really cool moment where I walked up by the Sentinel Gate on my own. No, Poppy and Lily were with me. Not Lily, Annabelle was with me. Yeah. And I was chatting away about everything that had happened, the story, Poppy's story. And then we see the gate as we walk by. Cass is there, Rydian. Yeah. And he's teaching. Who was he teaching? I think it was Vespa, but he was teaching someone how to line fight because they'd never line fought before. And they were like, "Oh, Adonish, come here," and basically had me jump in next to them. And then we just kind of did like an impromptu lesson on how to line fight, which was really fun. And then they were like, "Because this will happen." And then I had Philip, Philip, in my hand, and I was like, "Yeah, but look, you need to do this, that, or the other." And then I can't remember what the exact lesson was, but Cass was like, "And if they put their hand out, hit them." And then they were like, "Oh, I don't want to hit you." And I was like, "It's fine, I'll do it." Boom. And I was like, take a point of damage, by the way, that wasn't blunted. But then the gate opens and one of these possession ones comes back through. So they were like, they're coming, organize a defense. So like, Emberic just fucking jumped too. And so did Rydian. So Emberic like had the Sol Rene shield and did the whole like, boom. And they were like, form a line, and no one was doing it. So he goes, like, line up on my left and my right. And I looked to my left and all these Navarre with spears and shields come up and they're like this. Nice. And on the right, there's like Donish and Highguard and shit. And then as they're coming through, I was like, what color is my tablet? What color is my tablet? And everyone's like, it's kind of plum, it's red. Yeah. And then there was only one person actually possessed. There was one person who didn't like, they'd been given a card. Okay. But they dropped it between the field and the gate. Oh, no, yeah. And they were like, oh, I got a card. And I was like, oh, just go ask the ref. Because I don't know what the card would say. Yeah, like, of course, I'm here in Anvil. My job is just to stop people coming through. Because I had been like, what color is my shield? And they're like, I don't know. And then I was like, oh, shit, so you're possessed? But then I realized they're saying, oh, see, I don't know what's going on. So I said, go ask the ref. And they were talking to a ref for a while. Yeah. And then I could see them standing next to the ref. So I was there with the shield, and at this point we were doing the exorcism on the one person who was. Yeah. And as they went by, I said, do you want to step around and we can deal with it? And they came up, and I was like, what color is my shield? And they were like, I don't know, and at this point you're pissing me off. And I was like, I'm just playing the game, Like, I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. Yeah. Like, and it kind of put me in a bad mood for a few seconds. Yeah. And I was like, come on, you're the one who dropped your card. Yeah. Like, you've just been talking to a ref for 3 minutes. I think in good faith assumed the ref had filled you in on what was going on. Yeah. Like, all you had to do was say red and I would have let you by, Yeah. So that was like, but at the same time, I realized it's probably a high pressure situation. Like, if you don't know what's going on.
If it's the first time there or something. Yeah,
exactly. I don't know what was going on. So like, I just kind of like, was like, let it go. Yeah. But that was fun, And then I went back to camp. After that, with like a fun new story of brother, sister, I got an army, all this kind of shit. And this is this is coming up as one of the highlights of my event. Okay. I think. is
We are 40 minutes into this, by the way.
perfect because I'll stop after monstering on Saturday morning.
Great.
And then we can pick up Saturday in the next video. But yeah, I went for another wander with Tash because I was like, listen, great things are happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like.
Come with me. And historically, Tash and I always do our wanders up around the marches, the league, Verushka, that kind of area.
Good place for a wander.
Yeah, and we walked into the marches and there was a big new building set up there.
Oh.
Like a really impressive tavern. It had about 8 tables.
Okay, yeah.
And they were big tables.
Yeah,
It fit about 10 people at each one.
Yeah.
It had a stage. Off to the side, it had 2 sub bars. Like it was really a very impressive setup. And I was kind of walking by and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I hear, hey, oh, and I look over and it's Silgor coming over. And I'm like, oh, how are you? Kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And Emberic had never met Silgor. And I was like, I'm not doing it this time. I said, we met in the treads, didn't we? Or on the trods. And he's like, yeah, perfect. And then we got chatting, talking loads, which was really cool in character. He was telling us all about like, oh, you can, make port here if you ever need to get, your ship into the marches or whatever. And then I was like, what's this? And he was telling me that it was the black rat.
Oh, yeah.
Or the blind rat. I can't remember which one it was, but it was an amalgamation of the
blind
black
eye and
the blind eye and the black rat. It was the black rat, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter. And it was a big like fundraising thing the marchers were doing for Bregisland because it's been taken by the Jotun. So we were like, yeah, sure, fuck it, we'll come in. Because I was chatting to him for like 15 minutes or so. Yeah. And then we were like, right, yeah, we'll come in. He's like, I'm going to be on in 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, and I played it up that Emberic was a really big fan of Silgor.
Yeah.
And then before he goes on.
It must have been very hard to play that up.
Oh, fuck. Like, like it's really hard to reach for something that's not in you, But that was not one of those situations. So like I sat down. We ordered a drink. I can't remember what it was called. Tash got some. It was like gin or something, but it was like blood. So like she was drinking that, and we were playing this cool game where you roll a dice. You've got the numbers 1 to 10 on these little boards. You roll a dice, and then you have to kind of like flick up all your numbers.
Oh yeah.
You can add and subtract. So she was teaching me how to play it. There's a little kid gambling with an orc next to us, and he looks over and he goes, "I'm gambling for money." That's really funny. So there was like it was basically us 2 Imperial orcs and this kid sitting at the bar, and it was very funny. The kid's parent came along and he was like, "Oh yeah, he's done. He's had too many drinks and this," and then he was like, he's only had water, I promise." It's like so funny. But then I feel a tap on my shoulder and it's Silgor with guitar and everything. He's like, "Oh, hey, Emberic, you're a fan of my music." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Have you got any requests?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." So I did the absolutely unexpected and unique thing of requesting Big Old Boy. And he was like, "Oh, big surprise." And he went up and like the bar was all singing, but Emberic put himself like right in front of the stage, like, woo! So there was so cool. Emberic just like fully like, yes, singing along at the top of my lungs. Tash drinking and gabbling. It was just like I just had one of those, step back for a moment, and I was like, this is what Empire is about. I'm in a tavern listening to a bard while my sister is over there drinking and gambling with an orc. And then he's like, "Any more requests?" And this other huge orc steps up next to me and he's like, "Hurrah, call," which is the orc one. And then he played that live and it was really fucking cool. But the orc was just stood there. Like, I'm probably not going to be on camera, but imagine I'm standing like dead straight with his glass like this for the whole song. And I was like, that's just a fucking cool bit of in-universe shit. Like, you know? So then Silgor, he finished up his set or whatever. He did 3 or 4 songs. And he was like, "Listen, we're going to be going tomorrow night, all night, we're not going to stop XYZ. It's the Blind Eye Bash or the Black Rat Bash or whatever it was." And I was like, perfect. And he's like, "Any contributions?" And Emberic is like, all his money is not liquid. Like it's all just in Ilium. So he was like, "Oh, I don't have any money." But what I did do is I came back around. I said, "I'll be back around with some gifts for the pub." that might help out some small way to bring people in or whatever, you know? And he's like, yeah, perfect. So we go back, we said we should get Joey because this is really cool and we don't want to do it without Joey. So we get Joey and we're heading back towards the marches, and then we just see someone like dying in the street, and we're like, what's going on?
So many wild things.
And I'm not even a tenth of the way through the list. Like,
insane.
But it turns out that, like, long story short on this, like they dragged them over to what would be the weapons check tent. Right?
Okay.
Where, you know, that real tall High Guard general with the white hair?
Yeah.
Is there, and so is one of the Imperial Inquisitors, and like a load of other people just walking around. And we're kind of like, you know, just looking down, and they're like, they start talking shit about ambition. And they're like, ambition is a fucking lie. Self-sufficiency is the only way, and all this. And Emberic starts pulling out his sword, and then Flint goes to put his hand on his sword, like to stop him, but starts pulling it out faster. And we're just like, and someone rushes over like, whoa, they're foreigners, they're foreigners. We fully get the urge, but let's not start an international incident. They have to die by bleeding out. You can't execute them. And we were like, this is the hardest thing anyone's ever asked me to do. Because obviously everything they say is against everything we believe. I just don't stop spitting on them. Like, but then one of the people comes over and they're like, what did you say? Did you say you believe what they're saying? And I was like, no. I said, it goes against everything I believe. I'm a priest of ambition. And then he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm an ambitioning priest. And further to that, I'm the Imperial Inquisitor. And I'm like, oh yeah. It's just real dumb. And then they bled out, but one of them was still alive because they brought over a healer to fix him.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, and this is your way of getting revenge. Is it revenge, the great imperial virtue? And he's like, nah, I'm just a healer. And then he just fucks off. And then we fucked off. And then there was kind of like, and again, this is still the Friday evening. No other great things of note happened the Friday. There was some really fun character interactions. Again, Flint just sowing discord as much as he can in the lands.
What a little shit.
So fucking
Why
funny.
is he doing it?
We were just like, why are you doing this? But he had his goal and he was working towards it. His ambition was smoldering. Go to sleep. Wake up. Everybody's a bit like lethargic.
Yeah.
Some people have like sore limbs. Some people just aren't fighting this event. So I think monstering, not many of us went over. I think it was only like 4 of us or something.
Yeah.
I was like of two minds. I was like, God, am I even going to fight on Friday, on Saturday, on the big battle, like whatever it was? But I said, no, fuck it. I've never not monstered, you know, and like, I'm not going to start now.
And you typically always have fun monstering.
I do. I say monstering is the most fun I can ever have. And we went out, we were the Jotun. We were fighting like Wintermark, the League, Navarre. Like it was it was like a 5-nation army, I think.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, fine, fuck it. And it was, the Imperials were defending. So we had to attack a fort, which was cool.
Yeah.
But the fort actually ran the length of the field. So it wasn't like across the field. It was like the field was divided in half this way.
That's cool.
And we came out of the woods.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And it was just really good line combat. Like now we marched into the fort initially. Like they just didn't stop us. Like the lines clashed and we were 3 deep in the fort immediately. And then the refs kind of did like some jiggery pokery and stuff and rebalanced the game a little bit. And from that point on, it was just 2 hours of a line fight, but it was a really fun line fight. I was just using face
It's kind of nice because it's like there hasn't been just a solid line fight. Just a big fucking two forces.
Spoilers, they ran the same battle again on the other side the next day, and it was the same. It was just a really fun, good fight. Like it was so hot, being out in the field was maybe a decision, you know, but it was a really fucking fun fight. Not much happened. I did have some really fucking fun monstering IC banter with Leonard.
Oh, nice.
Or Dariush. Who was playing a non-com healer. And
because obviously he was monstering as well.
I got dragged back to him and I was like, oh, you've cleaved me chest, I'm dying. And he was like doing loads and he's like, it's gonna hurt. And I was like, they had to keep moving me because the line was moving and it went on for so long. I was like, just let me die. But there were all these healers and they were pulling out leeches. And then I was like, So at one point I was like, is this meant to be inside? And doing this with my hand. And they were like, looking at each other like, no. And I was like, put it back in, and started eating my own heart and shit. Like, but it was very, just the banter back and forth was just so fucking funny.
That's very funny.
And then we were walking back. Oh, there was one great moment where Cameron. So, well, at the start, I was hanging out. I got separated from our group because I stopped to talk to Scotland.
Yeah.
I couldn't find him again. Everyone was in orc masks. But somebody pegged my voice, who watches these and is in the server. So Cameron, shout out. Thanks for keeping me company and monstering. Got separated from them, but then Omega Loose was there towards the end. And there was a great moment where the Jotun went out, shook hands, XYZ, took the field, and a Navarro archer shot for the general. But Omega Loose did a get down, Mr. President. And then the general was like, no! It's just really fucking, like, just hammed it up to fuck. Like, but yeah, that's fucking so Navarre. Funny. And then there was this big thing of like, everyone was chanting like, Imperial Drush! And all this kind of stuff, which was great.
Yeah.
And then we were walking back, it was bucketing sweat. Like, it was so hot. And then just before the battle ended, when we were walking back, we got our first casualty of the event.
Oh no!
Drekthane is no more. The orc mask split in the hot weather as I tried to pull it off my head.
No.
So R.I.P. Drek's current face.
Can you like just cut it so that the mouth hole is bigger and you could just do more?
It won't work. The reason
that
Drek was such a good mask is because it was fitted so perfectly to my face.
And now it's
now it would hang loose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the model of mask it was, so I can just go back to Mandala and be like, hey, can I get this mask? Here's my sizes and stuff. But just never has an orc mask
love that
given
mask.
So much to so many and asked for so little.
Go check out our stuff on Harfar Tales to see Jim in that orc mask a lot.
We did a full short film for the Critter Wars.
Oh, what's that? Yeah.
Although he was called Jeremy then. He wasn't Drek.
And then was there something else in no, I think that was just all Jeremy's journey.
Yeah, we did a live show plug with it.
Yes, that was it. I was like, no, we definitely did.
We did some streaming in it as well on Orc Life Balance, which I fully intend to get back to at some point. But now I need a new orc mask. So, yeah, I think I can go as far as the big sword thing that happened. Because basically. Right. So, sorry. We've decided.
Hello, we're back.
Keep going. We're going to keep going for a little bit and try and condense it into a two-part.
Yeah, we're going to try to get 2 parts, so you don't have to wait so long.
Yeah. So the next bit was again whapped on the Saturday. Then.
Yes.
In the morning, whapped back around to, and this might be a little out of time because I just made a list at the end of Saturday. So these are just things that happened in no particular order to begin with. So the first thing, just a little more Silgor stuff. I went back over. Nice. I gave a load of the songbooks to the tavern.
Could you? Sorry, as we haven't done a bit in a while.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Like
how unlike us.
How unlike us. This has actually been very like on topic. Maybe it's only when the two of us are talking. Silgor's performance on Friday night.
Yes.
If you were a concert reviewer. No, I don't know a famous music reviewer.
Whatever. Stars.
Imagine you were a journalist for the Rolling Stone magazine.
Yes.
I was. What would your the headline of your review be?
Silgor is great. No, let me think of a witty headline. What was it called? The Black Rat, right? Was the name of it?
Yeah, I think so.
The Black Rat Bash. Yeah, I think to try and be as witty as I can with my headline, Silgor is really great at playing music.
In the Black Rat Bash?
No, like 5 stars. I mean, I'm never going to give it anything less than 5 stars because he's like one of my most listened Spotify artists.
Yeah.
And he's just as good, like better live.
Yeah.
But I mean, the vibes were immaculate in that place. You know, like it actually was just a fucking tavern.
And so was it like kind of the same thing second night around then?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we didn't get to do long.
Because I know one of the Irish
back.
players,
Emer,
yeah,
to play with
was doing accordion then, I think, on the Southern night, I believe.
So that was fun. It was like hopping.
Okay, yeah,
night.
nice.
Like absolutely hopping.
Kind of makes sense because Fridays usually everyone's
it might
like
have been
the ground running.
It might have been the Friday night that I went back. It was nighttime whenever it was that I went back, and the bar was just hopping.
Yeah.
I had my shield and stuff because I was just out of a combat.
Yeah.
So I couldn't.
Did you go on many skirmishes?
Not that many.
Okay.
Not that many. No, I don't think I skirmished once. We tried to get on a few.
Right.
There was a great one. Somebody came into the camp and they were like, "Oh, hey, Elijah has sent for. He needs a bodyguard." And I was like, "Fuck!" Whipped up the shield, whipped up Philip, and went. Well, actually, wasn't Philip that I whipped up, but more on that later. I sprinted to the gate because apparently it was meant to go through like 5 minutes earlier, but I was like, sometimes things are delayed. And the reason I really wanted to go is because the skirmish was, they were bringing storytellers out and they were going to be attacked by spider people and they had to be defended from the spider people while they told stories. And I was like, I cannot miss this. And then it turns out that it was oversold, like overbooked and oversold. He didn't even get to go on it. So I was like, that's really sad. And that will be a theme for this event, sadly. A lot of people disappointed with one particular thing. But anyway, back to Silgord. That was great. Met Scotland in the pub. He was telling me about like there's a bit out in the sea where when sailors go over it, they're hearing bells.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me all about that, and that ended up being like an eternal, I think, and stuff. Like he was following up on that. But it's just really cool to be in this bar, and there's all these faces, like Fire of the Marches was there. Like there's loads of Dawnish people there. There were some Imperial orcs I recognized. And it's just like this just feels like fucking fantasy, you know? And it's always great to roleplay with Scotland as well. Ernesto, he was saying he's starting up a business. He was telling us about this potion he got, and more on that later. But yeah, okay, so another thing that happened, the Barons vote. We wanted to get more into the Barons. So,
because the senator for the Barons got...
So we threw a lot in with initially House de Griff, but they were on the other side of the Unicorns and Griffins thing, and then another senator came along, and I can't remember your name, I'm so sorry. It's a really Merrow looking character. All blue, you wouldn't know. I think they're new to Anvil. But they had like just fully aligned with the house, so we threw in with them then. And then when the vote came, it was clear that they weren't going to get it, so they threw in with Delagriff. But then the Imperial vote person was like, no, you can't do that. So both houses then failed, and I think one of the Orzels or an Orzel aligned thing got it. So it's like
kill surprise.
But there were three people going for it, and they were all very aligned in what they were saying. So it was like,
right, they split the vote.
We would have been happy with whoever got it, you know. But out of the three, the one who got it was the one that we didn't actually give any support to. So all around failure from Sol Renee and that.
Good for into politics.
And then there was the KP tourney. Which again, we didn't have a horse in the race. Really.
Was there any big mass spells going off or anything?
No, and I will come back to that a little bit as well. And remind me when I'm talking about my priestly stuff, because that actually came up, and it's quite cool. But yeah, no, we threw in one lot. But then when they were taking the field, the heresy shield was on their side, so Sol Renee couldn't fight with them on principle. So we went to the other side and we fought again House Delagriff. So we joined in with them there. It was a really good fight. I think I did well. I had Face Taker, 0 armor, so I had 2 hit points. And I think I had Dorian on my left with shield, and somebody behind me hit me heals. But I held the line with Face Taker. I took a lot of points from House De Hire. I think De Hire, the guys who camped next to us. I'm probably getting the name wrong. But I took a lot of points off them, and then eventually I took a cleave to the leg, and the line marched over me. Is what it is. but I was very happy with how I acquainted myself.
Nice.
Shout out to the person who healed my leg. That was great. I can't remember your name, but it was great. And that was kind of it for initial Glory Square shenanigans.
Who got the KP spring? Do you know?
It was one of the Lavender Court, I think.
Okay. Cool.
I know the player. I can't remember their name
Sure,
offhand. I'll put it up on the screen. But yes, so then the next thing was the Manticore Earl.
Oh yeah,
Right?
the Manticore.
And he had basically put out this thing where everyone, the question was, is he even really Daunish? Right?
Yeah.
And eventually somebody asked him, can't remember your name, sorry, brain like a sieve. Somebody asked him, have you completed a test of metal? And then in a wind, they were like, the Manticore Earl was like, finally, somebody is asking the right questions, Dawn. And then basically put that person in charge of a skirmish that was going to be a tournament and a party that the Manticore Earl was hosting in the Barrens.
Oh, this was Alistair. No, wasn't it?
No, that was a different thing. That was a different thing completely. That was a different thing completely.
Because I thought he got mentioned in the...
He did. He got a really cool skirmish to basically go and talk to a golem. But an Eternal that's just kind of a golem. But yeah, no, that wasn't it. This was basically the Manticore held a tourney and a feast in the Barrens and sent an open invitation to Dawn. So there was going to be 2 tournaments, an 8 versus 8, his champions versus ours, and then a free-for-all, and the winner of both would get a boon. And then there was going to be like libations.
A boon? How?
He has a boon he can give. I don't know what it is.
Oh.
But
I've got a new bay to approach.
I'm sure you will. So everyone in Dawn was really pumped for that.
Yeah,
it was one of these big processions up to the gate because it was. You remember we went out to the Barrens after we won it with candles?
Yes, yeah.
It was like that was what it was like. You know, people were like, "Oh, we'll see you out there," and they all had their finery, and the people who were fighting were clanked up and all this kind of stuff. And I said, "I'm going just like I'll fight, but I'm just gonna again just be in my civvies with Philip." We got, and the refs are at the gate and everybody's heading through. And I think like a few people had gone through and then they were like, click, bounced. And everyone was like, what? And then basically, I think, and
did it turn bad?
No, it didn't. It was an OC mistake where they had scheduled it as a combat skirmish and the cap on them is 100. Whereas it wasn't meant to be that. It was meant to just be like a jaunt through the gate, like this, the coronation or something.
Yeah.
So everyone was like really kind of like, that's shit. You know, but like they couldn't do anything about it because like,
the gate's closed.
Like, the gate is closed. It's done. So like all the people who were fighting didn't get to go through because just like random people who were wandering through the open gate got through first and stuff, you know? So I don't even know what happened in the Manticore thing. Nobody really does because like people didn't know people who went through, you know? There was just like random people had gone through.
Right, yeah. Not the people who were actually involved in the
I don't think Dawn could even field enough fighters to do the tournaments.
Oh, Jesus. You know?
But basically, at the gate, then I was like, we'll do our own tournament with blackjack and hookers. And then that kind of grew legs and we were like, will we have our own tournament? Yeah, fuck it. Let's go to the Glory Square and have a tournament. So we all marched off to the tournament. They were like, who's reffing? And I was like, my sister will ref. So Dahlia had like some wine in her hand. She's like, ref it. And we all marched up. I think there was about 10 people in the tournament then.
Yeah.
There was like half Emerald Lance and then half other people.
Yeah.
And, you know, we did the same rules that was going to be in the Manticore tournament, which was like no call, or no, it was, I can't remember what it was. No, it was basically no executions and shit. You know, like very standard rules. And we said we'd do it in blunted blades. Yeah. So we didn't have to rely on people getting healed and all that kind of stuff. And we started kicking off. And it was, you know, chaos at first. Percival called out, God, why can't I remember his character name?
You're very bad at names today, Jim.
It's really late and I've played a lot of D&D. It was Jill's character anyway. You know,
Kane.
Kane, yes, thank you, Kane. Because he wanted to teach him how to fight the Carleon way. So he was like, they had this big scrap, and Kane is a really good fighter, and Percival's a really good fighter, and they were both in full clank with shields, so they were just trudging at each other. I ended up going up against the Earl of a house that I can't remember the name of, because apparently that's my jam today. I just interacted with a lot of people this event, and he was in full clank with a shield, so I did Hummingbird Pex the Honeydew, which, sorry, dude, it works. It's trying to scummy of me, but it worked. I was just like, he was in full clank and I was in
You fight
normal clothes.
to win, not to fight.
So just
yeah.
pip, take a point, pip, take a point, pip, take a point. Every time he swung, dancing backwards away from him. And eventually he went down, shook his hand. But in the middle of it, we saw Percival's back turn and we were both like, and and we both just go up and start wailing on Percy from behind, which was very funny.
Yes.
Then we went back, our fight resolved. Lumiere was there, got knocked out. Decimus was there, got knocked out. There was 2 or 3 other people got knocked out. So we were down to like the last 4. It was someone I didn't know fighting Percival. And then I was fighting another like duelist. So like he looked very like Jacques the Viper.
Okay.
But we were both fighting like very similar style of fencing. And it was just a really solid, great fight. He had an unstoppable, he did an unstoppable. And I was like, fuck it. So I just like did a big flip and everyone was like, "Way!" But that was great. And then in the end, he got back up. So I cleaved him. We were fighting and then he popped an unstoppable and then we had 1 hit point each.
Yeah.
And we both landed a shot on each other and both went down and then Percival won his round and he was like, right, who's next? And I was like, we've knocked each other out, you're the winner. And he was like, fuck. So that was really good. But in the middle of the tournament, Flint had come up. And he walked up to me and he was like, brother, the fate of the Empire, you're needed. It's the fate of the Empire. And I was like, he came up with his sword and I was like, he's in the tournament. He's trying to trick me.
Yeah.
And then he bapped my sword and I was like, nope. And just did like a flurry on him. I must have hit him like 60 times in the space of like 4 seconds. I was like, boom, 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 boom. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, you came up and hit my sword in the tournament. And Tash was like, you're out. So like, it was very much like stunting on him. But I was like, don't hit my sword in the middle of a tournament. And he was like, you have to go. And I was like, I'm in the middle of something. He's like, we have to go now. It's really important. And I was like, I'm finishing this tournament. I've been denied one, I'm doing another. So, you know, tournament resolved. And then I so out of breath, like, and he was like, what's wrong? I was like, what is it? What's wrong? He's like, we have to go to the hospital. And I was like, oh, okay. So we marched to the hospital. I was like, what is it? He's like, basically, I've gotten these 2 potions that have never been drank in the Empire before. And the hospital couldn't identify them because no one's ever done them. I was like, you need a guinea pig, don't you? And he's like, yes. And I was like, okay, fine. So we rock up and we go into the hospital and he's like, oh, got someone. And I'm like, hi, I'm the victim. But, you know, we had a little bit and they were like, okay, grand, there's stuff we have to do. So basically the first thing they did was they got a benchmark of what I am. They're like, you're lineaged. You have, your soul is dedicated. What effects do it can I see on you? They did like, basically gave Emberic a full
like
physical.
a diagnosis.
So they had
run a diagnostic
zero
test.
on his soul.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then they were like, okay, grand. Disarm him because they didn't know what would happen if I was going.
I mean,
and then they had Joey holding Philip to my throat.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And then Dahlia gave me a rose. She's like, good luck, brother. So there I am. And the first thing they do is they had a priest to my left.
Yeah.
And he incites me and he does all this. And they had a mage here and they had 2 medics here. And most concerningly, they had about 4 people here with pen and paper taking notes. And they're like, right, here's the potion, bottoms up. And I'm like, bottoms up. Oh, sorry, no, there were 2 potions first. And they're like, pick one. And I was like, I'm going to use the scientific medic. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a big bite, toe, 1 and 2, yada, yada, yada. I picked this one. And they're like, please read out the description or what you see. Tell us what you see. And I was like, it's a clear amber, you know, flecks of gold, blah, 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 blah. It tastes, a tip on the tongue tastes like this.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, drink it. And I go, phoom. And I get a potion. And I absolutely picked the right potion.
Yeah.
Because the role play effect was like, you feel insanely confident in your virtue.
Nice.
Any religious ceremony you do in the next 10 minutes will be done 3 stages higher than you can usually do it. So they were like grilling me on how I felt and stuff, but you just have to role play affect it.
Yeah.
And then you were like, no, I can feel the virtues calling to me. I have to do a ceremony. I said, I have to hallow something right now. Give me Philip. And I walked out in front of the sentinel gate and I was like, people of Anvil, this, and I hammed it up as Emberic. I was like, this is a sword meant for great deeds. Its great deeds will live eternal. This is a sword upon legends will be built, and gave it like I was pulling like full on fucking like anime poses with the sword and shit. And then I just went, this is Philip. And I held it and everyone was like, yes. And then I did the hallowing. And I was like, I hallow you to the, I can't remember, I think it was the Conqueror. You feel, yeah, anyway. So I hallowed it.
Do me a favor, Jim.
Yeah.
Were you just like, yeah.
Cool. So I'm like, this is Philip. And everyone was like, because I had given a big speech and they were expecting like, sun fury or something. And I was like, this is Philip. And everyone was like, yeah. But someone later on was like, is this the Philip that lad was shouting at the gate about? But we went and I went up to God to do the hallowing and they were like, oh shit, we've never seen this potion before. That's really interesting. Because it was the first time it had ever been used.
Crazy.
I have the fizz rep. The thing for my wall.
Yeah.
But I was like, we were walking up and we were like, Philip just isn't good enough a name for that.
Yeah.
So we went up and she was like, what is it you're calling the sword? So we passed the bandage across.
Yeah. This got spoiled, but like, super Philip. So dumb. Like,
she was looking at it and she was like, 2 L's. But fucking people are mad about Super Philip. But that is like such a strong role-playing effect.
Yeah.
And it's you feel
driven to publicly defeat any enemy he stands against you.
Yes, and because it was right off the back of that tournament. The public read on this roleplay effect is now you duel them and stunt on them as much as you can. So Philip is now the absolute fucking cock of the walk sword. When you're fighting someone, you can't just fight them. You have to like be flourishing and giving it like like Joey was dueling people and he was doing it with like a glass in his hand when he had Philip and stuff, which was just so much fucking fun. And then Joey had to do the other potion.
Oh yes! I forgot there's 2 potions.
Yeah, and he exact same thing. Took a read on his soul. 112. That's fine. Got the absolute 0 on his soul. All this kind of stuff. And his one wasn't as dramatic as mine. But he was like, they were going, how do you feel? And he's like, I feel strong. I feel good. And then they were like, how do you feel about? Eventually, the question came up, like, how do you feel about your brother and sister here? And he was like, I would die for them. I feel more loyalty to them than I do for anyone. If anybody ever hurt them, I would be most upset. They were like, okay. And he's like, the bond and the oath I have sworn to them is all I am. And was giving it loads of this. But the roleplay effect was like, basically any oath or bond you have is like massively heightened. And then it heals all your hit points and clears venom. But they were like, are you venomed? And he was like, I have never been less venomed. And they asked it again. He was like, I can't say this any clearer. I have never been less venomed. But then, like, the best read on the roleplay effect, with God and everything, because they had never seen the card.
Wild.
Was that, like, he would fully attack anyone who said even boo about Tash and I. So they were like, I was like, I'm planning on dueling later. And they were like, don't let him be around when you're doing that, and we didn't know, the card didn't say how long it lasted. So they were like, come back in an hour. And he was like, I still feel the same way. And then, he went back again and they were like, you have to go to God. And we were like, uh-oh. But that was just because they didn't know.
No, okay.
When we got to God, they didn't know, so they were on the walkie to someone, and we got the answer that was like, until the start of the next summit, inclusive of any player events.
Like a ritual.
Yeah, and then we were like, oh shit, okay, so this is a thing. And then as we were walking the tent, they were like, no, come back. For a couple of hours. And we were like, okay, so it's worn off. And they were like, yeah. Like, it lasts as long as you want it to that day kind of thing.
Like a tonic kind of visual effect,
So we went back and we informed the hospital, like, oh, it seems to have worn off a couple of hours later. And that was our contribution to science. Yeah, nice. Which was really fun. What was really cool was the priest was Zeni, the priest who had done the rituals. And because he enjoyed the roles play so much, he went out and he picked nettles and dock leaves, and he's like, I believe it's your festival of the flowers. So I'd like to give you, and I was like, that's real cool.
That's
so
fun, yeah.
I was wearing a nettle in my belt for the rest of the event. I think that's a good place to leave it.
I think it's a good
We're
place
on
to
to
leave it.
another tranche of stuff then after
perfect.
that.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it with Super Philip.
Wow. Super Philip. Truly, you have made a mockery of this game.
Super Philip. I gotta say, people fucking loved Super Philip.
Yes, because LARPers are idiots.
But yes, thank you so much for this.
Thank you,
for
guys.
staying with us in this slightly random recap of Empire.
In an incredibly normal location.
If you enjoyed this, please do go check out our other content. We have plenty of Empire content that's just informative about the game. If you're new, if you are new, consider using our referral codes. You get 15 quid off your first ticket. We'll get 15 quid too. It really helps to offset the travel costs of Empire.
Yeah.
Join our Discord. Nice burgeoning little community in there.
Yeah, it's kicking off now. It's nice.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It's nice.
Yeah. Everyone's real nice and helpful and sound. Yeah, it's good.
It's also got all of our TTRPG stuff.
Yes.
So if you haven't...
Before we get on to Heartfire Tales, also check out our referral codes and discount codes for Wormwick.
Yep.
Where you can get Polyplate and stuff like that if you're in the market
get
for
a nice
things.
discount. And we get a little kickback.
Someone use it and thank you for that.
Yeah, you bought us drinks the other night. If you enjoyed this, you might actually enjoy the content we put effort into, which is Heartfire Tales, our TTRPG. We have some really cool stuff that's been announced now, so we can say we are...
Your mega announced it'll be out by the time this comes up.
Yeah, so go check it out. We played, we've partnered with Cubicle 7 to basically play one of their new systems, The Laundry, based on the books by Charles Stross, The Laundry Files. Really, really, really fun game. A lot of fake swords energy in it.
It was
an awful lot of fake swords.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. It's just a single one shot. It's also video as well. It'll be on.
I'll link it at the end of this video.
Yeah.
It'll be one of the recommended videos at the end of this.
And yeah, it's really good. And look, we're going to be straight up with you. We got paid to play a TTRPG. And as two people who were like, I don't think we've been shy about saying that we're trying to make it in this space.
We are.
And this has been like a real big step for us. And so even if watching actual plays, and if you've never watched any of our TTRPG stuff before, go watch that video. It would just mean a lot to us if there was like as much support and views and likes and stuff like that and engagement on it. Because that actually would be incredibly helpful. So and also it was actually just very fun.
It was a good
game. It was a good game. It was a good story. It was fun characters. It's a fun system. It's like if you took James Bond and Call of Cthulhu and mixed it with like Office Space, it's all about like navigating bureaucracy, but also the end of the world in like modern day office life, but you're a secret agent for the British service. Very fun. And yeah, check that out. I think that's the one thing. We won't plug Heartfire Tales in general, but check out The Laundry.
Check out The Laundry,
yeah.
Again, it'll be linked somewhere. I think that's probably it, is it?
I think that's it. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, like for this episode.
For this episode, it is. Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, then look, we will see you in the next one.
Play us out, Jim.
What?
Play us out.
Yeah, I'll play you.